So guys, there has been quite a bit of things happening over the past few weeks, and although the Robotaxi and the Model Y has been on everyone's mind, the Model 3 is finally stealing the spotlight once again. In the last month or so, as Tesla prepares for the Robotaxi test drive event, they have done countless updates and changes to the hardware suite, ensuring it's capable of running the latest FSD. And there, as we have recently discovered, the entire Warner Bros. Studios in Hollywood has been mapped out using their internal fleet of vehicles. These vehicles consist of a majority being Model 3s, fully configured with the latest hardware suite set up for the Robotaxi positionings. In addition to this, you'll see some newer Model 3 Highlands going through extensive testing with different hardware not yet available to the public. This would include some vehicles having radar, LiDAR, front bumper cameras, and even a handheld tracking device. If you want to know more about that, I do have an entire playlist on Hardware 5 and the latest full self-driving hardware updates, so go check that out. But specifically on Hardware 5 and the Model 3 with the LiDAR and handheld tracking device, I'll drop a link in the description below and up top there. So now, while we're talking about the Model 3, there is a lot going on with this car and a lot we can be expecting over the next few months. As the Model Y is expecting a refresh coming very soon, we can also see the Model 3 getting some of the latest enhancements. And although the Model 3 has just gone through a complete refresh with Project Highland, it has now been roughly a year without any real updates. So what we can expect with the newest model is the inclusion and possible redesign of the bumper housing for the new front bumper camera, but also to give it a more subtle but noticeable update from last year's version. Then, some additional items you can expect to see added to the newest version or the 2025 model is a powered frunk, vehicle to grid, and a 120 volt outlet. All of this will be used to keep the momentum going, drive up sales, while anticipation is still extremely high for the Model Y Juniper and for it to begin ramping. Alright, so while all this is still just speculations, one thing we do know for sure is Tesla is currently testing a new version of the Model 3 and they are doing it in broad daylight. According to a user on Reddit that goes by JackNV, Tesla has been spotted testing another version of the Model 3 in the Bay Area, a version that looks very out of the ordinary. This isn't just another made in China, built for China extended length version that we've recently seen driving around the streets of California. This one has been intentionally hidden and camouflaged in a way that makes us wonder what they're really up to. In this video here, captured by the onboard cameras, we can see a car driving on the freeway that has been covered head to toe in a white wrap, but still distinguishable as a Model 3. Now, at first glance from the front, you might think that this is just another old Model 3 with the original headlights and body design, but if you look closer, you'll notice something is completely different. First off, you'll notice that as you zoom in, the headlights are actually the ones from the new Highlands, but covered in a way that makes it look like the old housing with the eyebrow daytime running lights. They have done it in a way where it looks near identical, even with the slight projector glare on the inside housing to keep it as realistic as possible. On top of this, with the recent photos shared by the Kilowatts, you can easily tell that this is not the pre-refresh model by simply looking at the front bumper, as the older Model 3 had a much more aggressive look across all the trims with a more steeper angle, cutouts for the air tunnel, and the addition of fog lights on each side. Then moving to the rear of the car, this is where you're going to see something very interesting that you haven't seen before. First off, it is clearly identifiable that this is the real deal and not just a customer car. It has the same exact manufacturing plate that we've seen on previous prototype engineering vehicles. Then looking at the most noticeable spot on the car, not only did Tesla leave the rear taillight exposed, showing off the Highland design, but they've also made some slight modifications to the looks of the taillight. You'll notice that they have placed a fake sticker on the charging port door, even though the pre-refresh and the refresh Highlands is exactly the same, but they've also placed some sort of clear film on one taillight but not the other. Now for the biggest part of all this, and you might have glanced over and completely missed it, it's the fact that it has the same light bar design placement as the Model Y Juniper. This is clearly visible in the video as the car drives by, the tail tail light is encased by the outer edges of the tail light, and this could be them testing the fitment of the new and the old. And further looking at the images up close, we can clearly see that there is a translucent piece of plastic perfectly cut out in the same shape of the light bar from the previous Model Y prototype leak. So after looking at the side-by-side images of the Model Y and the Model 3 that we have recently spotted, let me know in the comments below what you think of all of this, and could it be possible that they are going to be bringing the light bar design to the Model 3 as well as the Model Y. So obviously we can't say for sure that this is something we can guarantee and something we can expect in the future, but there is no doubt that they are testing something completely new in the later stages of the Model 3 design. By covering this car up in camouflage this late in the game and playing all sorts of trickery with the different stickers, there is something that is definitely coming up that they are trying to test and really working hard to hide. Now, if I had to put my bet on it, there is a very high chance that Tesla could be offering a different variants of the taillight design within the design studio, so you can possibly be selecting the original standard design, pay a little bit extra, and you can have the entire light bar. Now, I'll probably mention somewhere in the comments below, pinned up there, but my question is, would you be comfortable with the light bar design coming factory, but having the software to disable it whenever you want? I know there is a lot of mixed opinions on who wants the light bar and who does not, because it looks too like other SUVs, but I think it looks actually pretty good. And for those of you that don't want it, a simple click on the touchscreen and you can disable the entire thing and have it the way it is. So yeah, this is a crazy thing, and the fact that we are seeing it in broad daylight here, Tesla is making no efforts to tape the entire thing up. If anything, they've even peeled it out for us to see and for them to test out to see how it works in the dark and how bright it is in the day. But this is our first look at it, and this is going to be something I'll be watching out for over the next few weeks. So make sure you stick around and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and follow me on Twitter at HeyJohnny. Over there you are going to get the latest, and you can DM me and I will respond as quickly as possible. Anyways, this should be it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is John once again. Peace out.